boxing show.
What's up, y'all? It's Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. July 15th, it's a big night of boxing. First, on Fox Television Network, Premier Boxing Champions brings you the return of Omar Figueroa stepping into the ring against former world champion Robert "The Ghost" Guerrero. This is a great matchup between these two fighters. It's going to be an all-action fight. Very excited about this fight because Omar Figueroa hasn't been in the ring since 2015, and he's making his return. They're fighting in Nassau Coliseum. It's been the first time in years that they have a boxing match over there in New York, Long Island, and it's a very good matchup. Robert "The Ghost" Guerrero hasn't had a win in such a long time. He's had two back-to-back losses already, and he's trying to get his career back in track, trying to see if he could get himself a world title shot. You know, he's a guy that could box. He could also go toe-to-toe with you. He brings that all-action fight. We saw against guys like Keith Thurman and also Danny Garcia and also Andre Berto that he gave us great fights. And Omar Figueroa is a high-punching volume fighter. And this guy comes to fight. He loves to bang. He's from Waco, Texas. He's a very tough mentality type of fighter. And I believe that this is going to go down to the wire. I think this is going to be an all-out 12-round war between these two fighters right here. What does Robert "The Ghost" Guerrero have left in him? You know, he hasn't had a win and he's hungry. This is the type of fight that he needs to win. You know, he has an advantage because he's been the more active fighter than Figueroa. Figueroa, you know, he's going to have to bring that youth. He's going to have to be 100% against a guy like Guerrero because Guerrero's going to definitely have to change up some of his brawling tactics. He's going to have to box more. He's going to have to use that southpaw stance, that jab, and also be able to work the body and try to wear down the younger fighter because the younger fighter is going to be throwing a lot of punches. He's going to work the body as well, and he has some good, decent punching power. But this is the first fight at 147 pounds at the welterweight division. This is his debut in that weight class, and we're going to really see what Omar Figueroa brings to the table because this is a loaded division right here with a lot of talent. And if Omar's successful, he could be able to throw himself right into the mix for a title shot. Robert Guerrero is known as a gatekeeper right now. He's the guy that's going to test you, you know, the up-and-coming fighters in the weight class to see if you really have what it takes in this division. There's great opportunities for both men. Whoever wins, you know, it's going to be a very good fight. So tune in to Fox Television Network. There's going to be another fight on hand, a light heavyweight showdown between two undefeated New Yorkers from Long Island and also Staten Island. You have Marcus Brown going up against Shaney Monahan. Now that's a very good matchup between these two fighters right here. Shaney's a little older, and I believe that, you know, he hasn't really fought anybody notable to really make a good assessment about him. He's a guy that's going to be tested against a guy like Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown is an Olympian. He's a guy that's rising in the 175-pound weight division, and he's looking for big fight opportunities. You know, if he gets another big win over Shaney Monahan, then I think he's ready for a title shot opportunity for a guy like Adonis Stevenson. They're both promoted by Al Heyman, and I think, you know, a guy like Marcus Brown that had an excellent performance in his last outing will do very well against Adonis Stevenson, even though I don't think he'll beat a guy like Adonis Stevenson, but it will be a very good matchup. Moving along to HBO, it's a triple header, and we're going to first start off with Joe Smith returning after two back-to-back knockout victories over Fanfara and Bernard Hopkins. This kid has made a splash in the light heavyweight division as a pure knockout puncher. This guy is just bulldozing his way through the division right now, and he's going up against a very good fighter in Sullivan Barrera. Sullivan Barrera is a top light heavyweight out there from Cuba, and this is a great matchup. I can't wait to see this matchup because I feel somebody's gonna get knocked out. You know, Barrera is a guy that's a more skillful fighter, more polished fighter. He's tough, he's durable, and he's gonna be able to bring a true test to Joe Smith, because Bernard Hopkins was on the decline. He was old, he was inactive, and Joe Smith got him at the right time. He was able to knock him out of the ring and look very spectacular against a guy like Bernard Hopkins, because to knock out a guy like Bernard Hopkins, that's a big accomplishment in itself right there. And then the fact that he blew out Figueroa in just one round was spectacular. And this guy has such explosive power, and I look forward to seeing Joe Smith pull out a victory against a guy like Sullivan Barrera, because that's going to be a true test right there. So tune into that fight. Now, also on the card is a guy that's from Panama that's making his debut in the United States for the very first time. Giselle Corrales is the WBA junior lightweight champion at 130 pounds. And this kid has been making a splash with his two big fights that he had in Japan against the former world champion. And now he's coming to the United States to take on tough Robinson Castanelo. And that's gonna be a action-packed fight. This guy Robinson was the guy that just beat Yorkis Gamboa in an upset knockout victory. And I can't wait for this fight, because this is gonna be a very good action-packed fight between these two fighters right here. You know, Golden Boy is putting on an excellent show, and we're gonna see this WBA champion in Corrales take on a tough, durable Mexican fighter to see what he's really about, to see if he's the real deal, because this guy Robinson is a definite gatekeeper. He's gonna truly test you. I know Robinson has a lot of losses on his record, but this doesn't really tell the true story about this Mexican warrior right here. He even has a win over Rodney Rios, and Rodney Rios is a hot featherweight right now, and he's about to get a world title shot in his next fight. So Robinson Castanelo is definitely gonna prove a tough test for Corrales. Now, the main event of the evening is a great fight for Fight of the Year candidate, and it's going to be WBC Junior Lightweight Champion Miguel Berchelt against former world champion from Japan, Takashi Miura. This is going to be such a great fight. You have a young fighter in Miguel Berchelt that's going to bring it. He's going to show his boxing skills, because this kid could box and he could definitely bang. He's a good body puncher, excellent punching power, but the toughness of Miura is something that you're going to want to see. He was in a Fight of the Year type of fight against Francisco Vargas back in 2015, and these guys put on such a great fight. And I believe that this is going to be a great fight too, because Miguel Berchelt also fought and won the title from Francisco Vargas earlier this year, and that was an excellent fight between those guys. He was able to stop Francisco Vargas in that fight, and I just see this fight as an absolute war between these two. You're not going to want to miss this. You got to tune into HBO for this fight, because I think it's going to be the best fight of the night, even better than Omar Figueroa versus Robert Guerrero. I'm leaning towards the young champion to pull out the victory against the Japanese warrior, but I look forward to a great night of boxing on PBC, on Fox, and then on HBO with the triple header. But that's my final take and analysis on the fights that are gonna take place this weekend. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into my video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. Hit that little red button. Put your email information in so you get all my notifications once I drop a new video. Also, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and join the Facebook boxing group page, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for your support. Keep watching, and please subscribe.